We're now starting a series of lessons on statistics, and we're going to start today by learning about the different types of averages we can find, called the mean, the median and the mode, and we're also going to learn about the range of a data set. Here's some data. We call it a data set. We've got 5 numbers, 2, 6, 7, 4 and 6. The mode of the data set is the value which occurs most often. So we can see here that the mode is 6 because 6 occurs twice. The median is the middle value when the numbers are arranged in order. It's really important that we arrange the numbers in order. Let's underline that, because obviously if they weren't in order and everybody had a different order, everybody would have a different middle number. So let's remember, let's put them in order first, and that gives me 2, 4, 6, 6, 7, and then I want to find the middle number. So when I've only got a few numbers, it's very easy to spot the middle number. There it is. It's the 6. So the median of this data set is also equal to 6. If we've got a bigger data set and it's harder to spot where the middle is, we can cross off numbers from either end until we're left with the middle number. The final type of average we can have is the mean. And in order to find the mean, we have to add up all the values. So we're going to add up all the values. So that's going to give me, let's try and swap to a black pen here, see if that works. I'm going to add up all the values. So I'm going to add up 2 plus 6 plus 7 plus 4 plus 6. And then we're going to divide by the number of values in the data set. Well, there are 5 values in the data set, so I would divide by 5. Just watch my layout here. I'm going underneath. So let's add up our numbers. 2 plus 6 is 8, plus 7 is 15, plus 4 is 19, plus 6 is 25. So I've got 25 divided by 5, and I'm going to run out of room here, so I'm just going to squash underneath. My mean is equal to 5. So I have a mode, I have a median, and I have a mean. These are all 3 different types of average. Okay, so let's just make a note here on our slide that the mean, the median, and the mode are all different types of average. Right, I'd like you just to pause the video here and to copy this down onto your note sheet. You can just copy the definitions if you want to, what the mode is, what the median and what the mean is. If you have the note sheet printed off, those definitions are typed for you, so you may want to copy down the example, but as a minimum you must have down those definitions. Okay, let's just have a look then at the range. So to find the range of a data set, we have the highest value and we subtract the lowest value. So if we have a look at our data set here for as an example, our highest value is 7 and our lowest value is 2. So we do 7 take away 2, and the range of the data is 5. So it's range is the spread of the data. How spread out is it? It's going from 2 up to 7, so it's got a spread of 5. So the range, we say, it's not a type of average, it's a measure of spread. Okay, so make sure you also have down written in your books the definition of the range. So these can get a bit muddling. People forget which is the median, which is the mode, and which is the mean. So we do have a little rhyme that can help you. Okay, so the rhyme goes, hey diddle, the median's the middle, you add then divide for the mean. The mode is the one that features the most, and the range is the difference between. So it's quite an annoying rhyme, but if you can remember that rhyme, you can write it down if you want to. It can help you not get muddled up between how to find the median, how to find the mean, and how to find the mode. If you want to, there is a separate YouTube video link which you can have a look at for the rhyme, so you don't have to listen to me singing it, you can listen to somebody else singing it. Okay, so I'll put the link separately on videos if you want to have a listen to that. Right, let's go through just a few more examples and look at what differences can occur. So these ones I would like you to write down, these examples. Again, they're on the note sheet. So let's do the median first. So the most common mistake when finding the median is forgetting to put the numbers in order first. Okay, so I'm going to order the numbers. That's going to give me 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, then 7. I'm not being able to change colour pen here. It doesn't seem to like it, but I can see that, oh, there we go, we've got green, that the middle is 5. So I can circle that and I can say the median is equal to 5. Let's just have a look what happens with this data set. So it's a slightly bigger data set this time. So I'm going to make sure I remember to put the numbers in order first. So I've got a 4 and then I've got another 4. Sometimes it's a good idea to cross them off as you go so you make sure you don't miss any. And there's a 5. And I've got a 6, and I've got a 7, and I've got an 8. So I've got 2 4s, a 5, a 6, a 7 and an 8. I've missed out the 7, haven't I? Let's just pop that 7 in there. 6, a 7 and an 8. So to find the median this time, I am going to cross off from either end. So cross off from the other until you get to the middle. So you'll see this time I've got 2 numbers in the middle. So the median this time is halfway between the 2 numbers in the middle. Now I can easily see that halfway between 5 and 6 is 5.5 or 5.5. But if it's not obvious where halfway is, then the easy way to find out halfway between 2 numbers is to add them up. 5 plus 6 and divide by 2. 5 plus 6 gives me 11. Divide by 2 gives me 5.5. So if it's not obvious where halfway is, adding the 2 numbers and halving it will always give you halfway. So this time I've got a median of 5.5. Let's have a go at the mode then. So if we look at this set of numbers, I can see I've got 2 4s there. I can also see that actually I've got 2 5s. So because there isn't one number that I can see the most, I've actually got 2 modes. So you can have more than one mode. So this data set has 2 modes, which are equal to 4 and 5. Finally, let's try the mean of this data set here. So to find the mean, remember I need to add the values up. So 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 4 plus 6, all divided by 5. So that gives me 8, 15, 19, 25. So this is the same as the example on the previous slide actually. So I get 25 divided by 5 and my mean is equal to 5. So that's how we find the mean, median and mode. And on the previous slide we had to look at the range, which was the highest, take away the lowest. Now what I'd actually like you to do now is I'd like you to pause the video and have a go at some of these practice questions. So I want you to have a go at, let's just have a look here, start on the challenge or the super challenge. So it's the same sheet, averages, cross number, which you'll find attached to the assignment. The challenge is you just start on question 1 and you work your way through the whole sheet. Don't forget, if it's a median, to put the numbers in order. If you want to move on to some of the problem solving questions, then you can start on the super challenge, which is basically just the second column, just the down column on that sheet. When you find your answers, you can put them in the cross number. Okay, so pause the video and have a go at that. If you finish that, you can come back to the video and you can have we're going to go through an example of problem solving questions and you can have a go at some of the hyper challenge. Don't forget to mark the cross number though before you come back to the hyper challenge. So pause the video now. So here are the answers to the cross number. So you can mark those, or you can pause it and mark those there. Now let's go back and I'm going to show you, if you feel up to having a go at the hyper challenge, how we can do problem solving with averages. So in this question we're allowed to use the numbers 1 to 20 and we've got to choose 5 of those numbers to give me a mode of 3. So what we need to do here is we need to make sure that 3 occurs most often. So as long as I've got more 3's than anything else, if I pop 2 3's in there, I can put any other numbers I like. So that 1, 5 and 6 can be anything I like. Equally, I could have put more than 2 3's, it doesn't matter. As long as 3 occurs the most, it doesn't matter what my other numbers are. So you'll see with these questions there are going to be different possible answers. This time, again, I want 5 numbers, but I want to have a median of 5 this time as well as a mode of 3. So you can see I've put out 5 spaces to put my 5 numbers in. It's often a good way to start. Now I know if my median has to be 5, my need a 5 in the middle, so I'm going to start by putting a 5 in the middle. I know I've got to have more 3's than anything else, but I also know that my numbers need to be in order with my 5 in the middle. So if I want to have more than 1 3, I have to have 2 3's in there. Okay, so those numbers are fixed. I must have 3, 3, 5, and then in the last two I can have any numbers I like as long as they're bigger than 5. So I could pick an 8 and I could pick 11, but those last two numbers could be anything I like. Finally, if I want to pick 5 numbers with a mean of 4, what we need to think about when we're doing problem solving with the mean is how we work out the mean and almost work slightly backwards. So I know that my mean is equal to the total of my numbers over how many numbers there are. Well, in this particular example, I've got 5 numbers. Okay, so if I want a mean of 4, that means I know, let's create a bit more space, that 4 has got to equal the total of the numbers divided by 5. So the key to working out problems with the mean is to understand what the total of your numbers has to be. So if the total divided by 5 has got to equal 4, I know that I must have a total of my numbers is equal to 20. Okay, so when you're working out problems with the mean, work out here what the total of your numbers must be and pop that at the side because that is fixed. Okay, what the total of the numbers could be. Then I can pick any numbers here between 1 and 20 that are going to add up to 20. So we can start just by putting in some random numbers. I'm going to have a 3. I might put an 8 in there because that adds to 10. That makes life quite easy. And then I might put a 3. That gives me 13. Then I know I need to make up 7 here. So I could put a 6 and I could have put a 1. So let's just have a double check. 2 plus 8 is 10. Plus 3 is 13. Plus 1 is 14, plus 6 is 20, so that works. Again, there's lots of different possibilities here, but the key is the total must add to 20. So if you have a go at these questions when you are doing the averages puzzle, when you've got to find a certain mean, make sure you write at the side of the question what total you are going for. So if you feel up to having go at some averages problems, then you can go back, you can do the hyper challenge, so you've got the averages puzzles sheet and then some questions on some different pages of your My Maths textbook.